You know, when you need legal help, of course, you turn to a lawyer. But what do you do when your lawyer is the enemy? In his special report, Beneath the Law, 11 Alive Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe discovered the police, the courts, and the state bar allowed a lawyer to accept money from new clients long after they suspected he had a problem.
I've been chasing down for 2.5 weeks trying to get the paperwork going or either get my money back.
He's been telling me for a week and a half now that he would meet me to give me back my stuff.
These people need a good lawyer.
I paid you $2,000. Right. And a drug addict. Look at you, man.
But the man they're confronting is their lawyer.
All right, so Walter Moore, this is my office, Moore Law Firm.
Police body cameras are rolling as Griffin officers respond to the law firm again and again.
There's an office full of people. He's done run off with everybody's money, and we would like the police to come up here.
Oh my God, I cannot believe it. And he's a lawyer.
What happened over there?
To break up fights between Walter Moore and the people who hired him.
What's going to happen is you're going to come and arrest me because I'm going to beat the living out of the guy for stealing my $2,000.
We paid Walter Moore $2,500.
What'd you get for it?
Nothing.
It's rare to see police officers having to intervene between a lawyer and his client. They're supposed to be on the same side, sometimes against the police, and here the police have to intervene between the lawyer and the client. This is unusual.
Exactly, but in this case, the attorney is the enemy.
Austin Lemieux is one of dozens of clients who filed complaints against their own attorney, Walter Moore.
My attorney did not show up, and my case was dismissed for failure to appear. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. Walter takes the money, doesn't do the job, then the customer goes back to confront Walter.
If you want to be civil, give us our money back. That's all we're asking.
We don't have it. Okay, it's a civil matter, and then he's got to get out.
Police have responded to multiple calls from clients.
And you said he left with your money?
And 911 calls from Walter Moore.
And you a lawyer?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer at the Moore Law Firm.
Asking police to arrest or remove people there to get their money back.
I want to press charges.
Do you want this gentleman to criminally trespass from your office?
Yes. Frankly, I'm sick of them being up here. My landlord called me into his office yesterday and said, look, you got cops up here 3 days in a row.
The lawyer was arrested in December and again in January for failure to appear on his own traffic tickets. And he was served with 3 client lawsuits while he was in the Spalding County Jail. He got out. Heather O'Price's son is still behind bars for a nonviolent first offense.
We've lost our son. We've lost him. 15 years, he has to serve 5.
There are hearings where Walter Moore didn't even show up to represent him?
Yes, Walter was a no-show, and the judge had gotten very angry. Walter comes stumbling in a couple hours later and just oblivious to everything. Like it was just nonchalantly just comes into the courtroom like it was okay.
So he missed your son's court appointment by hours, and
yes.
Eventually your son goes to prison.
Yes.
You've got some issues.
The attorney did show up in court as a defendant, his landlord evicting him from the office.
If I don't have my files, I can't work, so it wouldn't matter where I go. They have to come with me. Also, every client could sue me for breaching the confidentiality.
Moore has been sued by 2 landlords, multiple clients, 3 former employees, and his own father, who foreclosed on his house. He countersued his own dad.
There's been a foreclosure on his house, right?
Yes.
He's been kicked out of his office, and he was still taking on new clients.
Oh yes, this man will keep going until he's stopped.
Hey, Walter, can we do a quick interview with you? Well, actually, here.
We caught up with the attorney running out of court.
What's that?
I don't want anything on the record. I'll talk to you though.
This is on the record. Did you take...
Meet me in my office around 5:15.
Did you take clients' money and then not do the work for them?
No, I did not. In fact, if you want to meet me in my office, I'll tell you everything.
At the attorney's new office,
Mr. Moore?
No one showed up. On multiple visits over several days, we saw law books scattered on the floor, a phone with the message light blinking, files, and a necktie strewn about the firm.
When you hear that he didn't show up for our interview, does that surprise you?
No, I wouldn't expect him to show up to anything after he didn't show up to the bar.
Meg Shackelford filed a bar complaint against her own attorney more than a year ago after Moore failed to show up for her court-ordered mediation.
They asked me, in my opinion, as a nurse, did I think he could possibly be on drugs, and if so, what would it be?
The bar had questions like what drugs could he be on a year ago, and yet it said in good standing for another year on there.
And he's just running loose. and nobody's stopping him.
I understand the man's an idiot. He's drunk, he's a dopehead, but he's still the victim on this case.
Back in August, when that paying customer was arrested,
But he stole my money.
a police lieutenant described his observations of the attorney's condition on the job.
Oh yeah, he's probably drunk as hell and high as a kite right now, you can kind of tell.
A former employee shared these photos of the lawyer's desk. The bar suspended Moore last month, and he admitted, "My competency as an attorney is currently impaired due to substance abuse."
And he keeps giving me the runaround. I'll meet you, never shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I got clients pissed off like her, wanting their file, but you can't try to hit me with your car. You can't stalk me. You can't blow up my family. Like, no. They can call the state bar of Georgia. They're more than welcome to.
That's from the state bar, clerk of state disciplinary board.
Looking for their case files in the dark of night, former clients dig through the trash behind the law firm after yet another eviction.
Authorize the Office of General Counsel to prepare the enclosed notice of discipline necessary for filing these matters in Supreme Court.
The bar's notice of discipline for disbarment trashed along with some clients' legal filings and empty liquor shot bottles.
His father's lawsuit against him is in the trash.
Yep.
What would you like to see happen to Walter Moore?
I would love to see him in a cell right beside my son, serving the same sentence, if not harsher, because he's taken away from so many people.
The entire legal system suspected this lawyer was impaired before multiple new clients entrusted him with their cases and their money. That police lieutenant was talking about him as an addict back in August, but the police considered all those calls civil matters. The courts knew he wasn't showing up for clients' cases or his own time and again. And documents show the state bar suspected impairment and serious violations at least back to March. But bar complaints, Vinny, are considered secret investigations.
All right, he's suspended now, but how about the clients? What are they doing?
Yeah, the good news is his parents are actually returning case files to his former clients, but some, they've already lost their cases. I know one guy who had to represent himself in a divorce just this week. And of course, there's the client security fund at the Bar Association if and only if he ends up disbarred in the next couple of months.
All right, Brendan, thanks so much. I want to bring back in our legal dream team. We've got LaTonya Hines and Meg Strickler with us tonight. Got a couple questions for them. And the first question I had was about malpractice insurance, because these clients, I mean, if you're practicing civil law, shouldn't you have malpractice insurance?
You sure as heck should. You never know what could happen, and you want to make sure that you got someone who's got insurance to back you up if there's an issue. It's crazy not to have it.
Well, how about in Georgia? Do you have to have it?
No, you do not. It is not required. Is that crazy?
Could there be a criminal charge here for something like theft or fraud or something?
It may be. It would be very interesting to see how is he using this money. The thing about it, if you are a private defense attorney, you're supposed to put this money into some type of an IOTA account, a separate account, and you shouldn't commingle or start using that money for your own personal self. The question is, did he do that? Did he forge any checks? Did they use their names to convert that money?
There's much more on this discussion on the Late Feed Facebook page. Make sure you check it out, as well as the story has been posted on 11alive.com.